And welcome back to more Pikmin! So last time, we collected the remaining ship parts in the distant spring. So this time, all that's left is the final trial. So the final trial is kind of an interesting area. It's a pretty straightforward region with only one ship part at the very end of it, but to get there, we have to use every type of Pikmin. So over here there's fire leading to a cardboard box to move out of the way of this path. There are two bridges over water, there's a stone wall, and there's bomb rocks over there. So, to start out, I want to take out the blue Pikmin and start working on one of the two bridges. I'm not going to work on both bridges at the same time, because it would honestly take a really long time just tossing the Pikmin up to the second bridge, because the second bridge is too high up to reach with a swarm, therefore we'd have to throw each Pikmin individually, so I'll worry about that bridge a little bit later, once we can approach it from land. In general, I really like the concept of the final trial, because it basically tests your knowledge of everything you've learned throughout the adventure. You have to use all three types for very specific puzzles to get to the final ship part. And also, I really like the atmosphere of the area. I really like the music. It's probably one of my favorite level themes. I like how it starts out kind of ominous for the first part of the song, and then it picks up after you've kind of gotten started with the day. Kind of a neat little detail. So, while we're waiting for this bridge, something else I wanted to correct from earlier is the fastest time to finish Pikmin is actually shorter than I remember it being. It actually only takes 6 days to finish this game. I thought it was 7, because I think either Pikmin 2 or 3 has the fastest day count at 7 days. But yes, it is 6, so that requires collecting every ship part on your first visit except for the positron generator, because you can't reach that other area in the impact site until a much later day, when you get blue Pikmin and yellow Pikmin to blow up that wall. Speaking of blowing up walls, this little section here is a little bit easier on the Wii version, because what you're supposed to do is basically toss a Pikmin across and then up to this ledge. There are two geysers down here to get up here. One weird thing is there's actually also a path. I'm not sure why they felt the need to give you 3 options to actually get up here, and I actually only realized there was a path, within the last couple days of practicing this area, so I didn't even realize this for almost 2 decades that this was here, because I just used one of the 2 geysers. So, on the GameCube version, you have to be really careful, because again, whistling Bomb Rock Pikmin will make them drop the Bomb Rocks. On the Wii version, there's nothing to worry about those, so it is a little bit simpler. Weirdly enough, while this part is easier, this change actually makes something else tougher in a little bit, so we'll get to that later on. I'm also not sure if I'll actually get the ship part today, because a lot can go wrong with the final part of this area. So no guarantees that I'll actually be finishing the game today. If not, I do have other things to show, potentially as well, along with the ending, but we'll save that for the next part. To get a head start on something else, I'm tossing some red Pikmin up here. I actually don't want to push the cardboard box quite yet, because I have had cases where the Pikmin fall into the water, so to be on the safe side, I am going to build the bridge first. We need the rest of our squad to be red Pikmin, because we do have one final enemy to fight. So this bridge should be built really quickly because we have so many Pikmin. They're all flowers, so this should not take very long. In general, I feel like I could finish this in one day on GameCube, but because of a few strategies having to be revised because of some changes to this version, I'm not exactly bursting with confidence that we'll be able to get through it in time. So, up here is some nectar. I don't really recommend going for this because there's not really a great way to get up here with a large group of Pikmin. More on that later. But yeah, it's a pretty simple area, but it is kind of a nice little wrap-up level to kind of show off all of the abilities of the Pikmin you've gathered to this point. By the way, also worth noting, back here, near the landing site, are candy pop buds. So if you're short on a particular type of Pikmin, you can just swap them in and then swap them back once you're done. So for example, if you have a bunch of red Pikmin, but not many blue Pikmin, you can use the candy pop bud to get a bunch of blue Pikmin, and then for the fire obstacle and the boss fight, you can swap them back over to red Pikmin later. So like, I think the minimum number of Pikmin required is 50. I have seen runs where people have only had 50 Pikmin, and that is perfectly feasible because of this. Using a lot of candy pop buds, so just take those 50 Pikmin and then convert them to whatever type you need from day to day. Yeah, just to reiterate, I'm really not sure how you're supposed to get this nectar, because a lot of Pikmin are probably... Wow, that was actually really smooth. I thought all the Pikmin would have fallen off, but it actually went pretty okay. We don't need to do this, obviously, I just thought it was worth showing off that there is nectar there if you need it. There are bomb rocks all around this arena, so that's ominous. There's this thing in the middle. We'll worry about this in a moment. In the meantime, I want to tear down both sets of walls around this arena. And also collect a few bomb rocks. These walls are really weak. I'm pretty sure the chime saying it was done played before the wall even fell in its entirety the second time. So the good news is, if there's a mishap, there are other sources of bombs. There's this one over here on the right side, and there should be another one on the other side. So yeah, even if we mess up bomb throws, we should still be good to go. Because I don't really like fighting on slopes, I don't know if I've actually gotten into that, but because of how Pikmin need to be near you when you're throwing them, I tend to like to be on level surfaces when throwing lots of Pikmin, so they're close by. So I'm actually heading over here, because it's a little bit more level. So let's actually see what this is. This is our final boss, the Emperor Bulblax. So there are a couple methods of defeating the Emperor Bulblax, and in general, if this is not a deathless run, this would be really easy. But it is a deathless run, so we have to hope for the best here. A lot can go wrong. Basically, toss a yellow bomb rock Pikmin nearby, and when it opens its mouth, hopefully the yellow Pikmin will throw the bomb rock into its mouth. There's a chance it will miss, or that the animation will be too slow, and then the Bulblax will eat the Pikmin. The bomb will still go off, actually, so it will still stun it, but you will lose the Pikmin. So, again, this is a pretty straightforward fight on a route with a lot of Pikmin dying. Trying to keep everyone alive makes this much more challenging. So yeah, kind of toss it close by, hope the Pikmin catches on, and then hope it also runs out of the way in time, because it can still die while running away. Be very careful, because its Stomp will kill Pikmin, like so, and also at a certain point, it will start jumping. I'm not sure how low its health has to be. By the way, you don't need bombs, but there we go. We have to be very careful about this attack, because if we toss a yellow Pikmin and it decides to jump, we might not be able to call it back in time. So I've had runs where it doesn't jump at all, and other runs where it won't stop jumping. So either way, be on your toes. One other bit of advice I could give is, hypothetically, you might want to leave the red Pikmin over here, just in case it decides to jump, so you're not stuck with a ton of Pikmin. By the way, because of the bomb's properties on GameCube, this fight is a lot less scary, because since the Pikmin will automatically drop their bomb rocks, that was close, when called, you don't have to worry about the Pikmin actively throwing it into the Bulblax's mouth. So it is a much safer fight on GameCube compared to the Wii version. And this is why I wasn't sure if I'd actually be able to finish this fight and carry back the part in one day, specifically on this version. I might collect the pellets the boss drops and leave the ship part for tomorrow, and just save that for the finale. That's bad. That was way too close. So yeah, this is why this fight is really tricky. I've had runs where it didn't jump at all, and it only took like 3 bomb throws. It was so easy. This is not one of those runs, apparently. But yeah, I was kind of expecting this, so I wasn't really hoping for a day 12 victory. I was expecting it to take 13 days total. So once they fall off, we want to call them as soon as possible in case it decides to jump. We should still be able to win this fight in time. We have a few more minutes left, but yeah, I might save the ship part itself for another time. So we probably only need one more bomb rock, but that's honestly easier said than done, in case it jumps. There we go, and we are good to go. We definitely have enough time to defeat it. Again, I just don't know if I have enough time to carry it back, and also watch the ending, in the normal time length for these videos. I also don't know if this ship part, how this works in terms of if you don't carry it back in time. So we got a bunch of different pellets. So I am going back to the onion, and I'm gonna swap out— oh, did the Pikmin fall into the water? Or did it get stuck behind a wall? Okay, it got stuck behind a wall. That's way better than it falling into the water, at least. I'm gonna put away some of the red Pikmin, I think. Try to carry back some of the spoils with each type of Pikmin. Just for the sake of, hopefully getting an even spread of Pikmin here. It's not necessary, obviously we could just give all of the spoils to one type of Pikmin, but I thought it would be kind of neat to do it this way. I put away more red Pikmin than they needed to. Definitely, so we'll probably end up with more blue Pikmin then. These bridges are also really scary, I should mention, because of how narrow they are, and thus navigating an entire squad of Pikmin can be kind of scary. But there is a way to actually rescue Pikmin with blue Pikmin. So if you toss a blue Pikmin at a drowning red or yellow Pikmin, the blue Pikmin will actually rescue it. It's really good to keep in mind in case there is a mishap like that. So we're just gonna swarm this whole squad and see— wow, it all ended up being the blue Pikmin. Why am I not super surprised? Yeah, we'll worry about this tomorrow, and I think I'll also show the additional endings as well. Because there are 2 more endings, the neutral ending and the best ending. So yeah, we'll go through all those tomorrow. And in the meantime, they should almost be back to the onion. I definitely wasted too much time carrying all the Pikmin across the bridges, so I'm not gonna have time to shuffle them back over to the red Pikmin. Sadly, I was hoping to have one of the pellets go to each onion, but again, not enough time to scramble for that. But overall, we didn't lose any Pikmin, so that was really nice. And with that, we'll easily be able to finish the game next time. "12 days since impact. Hope has begun to well up within me for the Dolphins' repair and my own chances for a reunion with my dear family. Tomorrow, I shall go forth with a new attitude and continue my exploration in a different region. I hope that fortune will smile upon me." I was hoping he'd say something a little bit more specific to the circumstances of finding the final ship part, but oh well. So our final total is 630 Pikmin. Not bad. And yes, we will definitely be finishing up the game tomorrow. We'll be returning to the final trial one more time, and also I want to go through the remaining endings. So that's what we'll be doing next time. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Pikmin.